Chaos says, is it a red flag when you answer conflict questions with, I did not have any conflicts at any of my previous jobs, but here's what I do? Yeah, well, I don't believe you, so I don't think they would too. And just so you know, a conflict, technically, a conflict is a difference of opinion, right? It's not the same thing as a confrontation. So you could say, I believe that all people who claim to be cultured need to eat escargot. I believe that's a thing. And don't you dare suggest otherwise, right? And I could think like, well, that's crap. But I think it to myself. I don't tell them that. I don't challenge them on it. I don't call them on it. I just, smile and nod. Okay. Right? That's a conflict. Right? A conflict is when you have a difference of opinion. Whether you express it or not, you still disagree, right? That's a conflict. Confrontation is when you openly confront somebody about it. You say, like, that's BS. You want to talk escargot? Let's do the whole bare knuckle thing and we'll really get to the bottom of this. That would be a confrontation, okay? So a conflict is simply a difference of opinion. Now, you're not gonna tell me that you've never had an issue or a difference of opinion with anyone you've ever worked with in every situation you've ever been in. I don't believe you. So I don't think that's a good answer. I wouldn't consider that a good answer because nobody believes that. Now, if you're interviewing for like McDonald's or something, like, the very entry level kind of thing, the fact that you said something coherent to the question, that might be a pass. I don't know. But in any kind of real job, skill job, career job, they're probably not going to regard that answer as very good. And just so you know, Chaos, the answer to any conflict question they could ever ask you is going to be some form of communication, right? So tell me about a time when you had a conflict. Yes, I had a conflict, with my boss. They didn't seem to appreciate the efforts that I put in. I went far beyond what I observed my coworkers doing to get a certain job done, but they didn't seem to understand that. They weren't observing me. And when they looked at the results, they just assumed that those results would have happened anyway with a minimal effort. And so we had a difference of opinion about that. And so what I did is I went to my boss and I asked them if they had a moment. And I explained, I said, based on your reactions to this, I've noticed that, you seem to think this. And, I'm not sure where that's coming from, but from my perspective, I worked really hard on this and that doesn't seem to have registered with you. And I'm just wondering if there's something I'm missing or, because I did do this, and I don't see anyone else doing that. Is that maybe your expectation or are you expecting something different? Help me understand. I feel that we're not really seeing eye to eye on this. Something like that, right? And then the boss explained, they said, oh, I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, you're right. I didn't observe you doing that. And well, now that I know that, it makes perfect sense. If you were encountering that problem and you had to do this, that makes perfect sense. I'm sorry. Now that I'm aware of this, first of all, good job. Secondly, if you encounter that in the future, maybe come to me to get some additional help so you don't have to go to those lengths. And then, you can maybe get the result with some help without you having to work that hard. Something like that. And then we'll all be on the same page. Something like that, right? So you could tell a story of a time when you did maybe something like that, and then they'd be, okay, great way to resolve your conflict. You didn't leave, you didn't pitch a massive hissy, you didn't get violent in the workplace or, start like shouting and making people uncomfortable. That was a great way to handle it, and you seem to have achieved a very good result. So way to go, You're a very professional person. So that might be kind of a better answer if you can say something like that or some similar type thing. Remember, conflict, the answer is always communication. If you have a conflict with somebody, the answer is always communication. First, you talk to them. Even if you get nowhere, you make the attempt. Okay, fine, I tried. Then you talk to your boss, see if they can help mediate, right, or advise. Oh, that didn't go anywhere. Okay, well, maybe I should go to HR or my union or, the government or whatever, see if that works, right? It's always some form of communication. And it includes you saying, okay, I'm sorry. I thought I was clear on this, but it seems like I apparently wasn't, So listen, here's the deal. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear before, but hopefully we could clear this up. Always communication. Talk about communication whenever there's a conflict. And then people will be, their mouths will be agog at your diplomatic skills, and they will put you on a pedestal and worship you like a god in the job interview. And then you can tell them to do your bidding. It'll be wonderful, right? Like a bunch of winged monkeys. Just think of recruiters as your own personal winged monkeys. You're probably imagining that anyway, but not in a weird way. Great question there, Chaos. Hopefully that's helpful. There are 48 people here hearing me talk about winged monkeys in a professional context. Now, if you can't do that, what can you do?